If you had the opportunity to be in Asheville with me at the Net Profit Summit, Gina, hi, then this is going to be a rerun for you because I am going to deliver the same message that I did on Saturday. So hope you're okay with that, Gina. I think for almost everybody else, and if, boy, oh boy, if I'm forgetting and you were there, please forgive me. Grab a pen, grab some paper, get ready to take notes. And I am going to share my screen and we're going to get after it. All right, so for years when I've taught goal setting, I've always taught that when you set a goal, it starts with what? What do you want to achieve? Now, if you've watched the movie Wizard of Oz, and if you haven't, well, let's just say I think everybody has. Okay, produced in 1939. It's amazing that this movie was made so long ago and so many messages in it. It starts with Dorothy living on a farm who's not thrilled with living on the farm. And she has this little dog, Toto, and she runs into a really mean lady who wants to do away with Toto, and Dorothy runs away. She meets this really mysterious guy who which leads to her falling asleep, which leads to this dream. Now she lands in the Wizard of Oz and she meets the Good Witch and she wants to go home. She's upset. She misses her family. So what was Dorothy's what? What was her goal? Her goal was to go home. What was her why? Her why was because she missed her family. Now what comes after why is how. So every goal starts with what, which leads to why, which leads to how. Please write that down. Now, the answer she got was follow the yellow brick road. Those are the activities that you do in order to achieve your goal. So your what may be to sell 24 homes a year or make $240,000 a year or $500,000 a year or $1 million a year. That's your what. And then what's the why? Why is that important to you? And then the next part of the strategy is how. How are you going to get there? Well, those are the activities that you are going to implement into your daily routine, which is going to lead you to the desired destination. And the yellow brick road always ends up in the Emerald City. It never ends up anywhere else. You're always going to end up at the same destination. Now, when you set a goal, switch screens, or let's say the reason most people don't set goals is because they don't achieve their goals and they've got this failure complex going on because they didn't achieve their goals. Here's my point on this. My point on this is it is better to set a goal and not hit it than it is to not have a goal. Please write that down. It is better to set a goal and not hit it than to not have a goal. Now, what's the most important part of this conversation? Well, you got to be able to see the goal in order to hit the goal. If we took Michael Jordan and we put him on the foul line and we said, okay, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant from our video, and we said, okay, hit 10 shots. And you stood him on that line, you put a basketball in his hand, he's going to hit 10 out of 10 because he's practiced thousands of times. That's another video, mastery. Now, if you took Kobe Bryant or you took Michael Jordan and you put a blindfold around his eyes and you spun him around a whole bunch of times and you put the ball back in his hand and you said, okay, now hit 10 out of 10. How many is he going to hit? The answer is 0. Why? Because how can you hit a goal you can't see? Now, in coaching real estate agents, one of the things that I know is very few, and in coaching people, one of the things that I know is very few people have goals. Even fewer have written goals. Even fewer have those goals with them right now so that they can see their goals. And one of the things that I do, if you ever see me in public, I'm always going to have my journals with me. Always, always, always. Rob Tucker said at the breakfast table on Saturday morning, he goes, there's John with his journals. I'm like, yep, they're always with me. Now, one of the reasons is, guys, if you go to the beginning of my journal, you'll see goals. Now, the first thing I do every day when I write in my journal, which I do every day, is I review my goals. I'm looking at them, I'm seeing them, I'm visualizing myself hitting those goals. But here's what I want you to hear. How can you hit a goal you can't see? Better question. How can you hit a goal that you don't have? Now, Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Steps of Highly Effective People, teaches to begin with the end in mind. Now, that means that you have to be able to visualize where you want to be, where you want to go. All things are created twice. Please write that down. All things are created twice. First, they're created here, and then they're created in the real world. I promise you, the Wright brothers, before they flew that plane, they visualized it over and over and over again before it was invented in real space. Now, here's the other thing that I love about this conversation is if you look to the Bible for proof on this, in Romans, the Bible tells us to speak to things that are not as though they were. Now, think about how God created the earth, how he created us. It started with, let there be light. He was speaking to things that are not as though they were. In other words, it was pitch black. Now, imagine it's you and me, Nathan. You and I go out and we're going to create the world, and we're starting with light. Man, if it was you and me, we'd look out and we go, dang, it's dark out here. I don't think it's ever going to be light. It's a good thing it wasn't us. Speak to things that are not as though they were. Begin with the end in mind. All right, the next thing, the step I want you to take is I want you to understand the difference between lead measures and lag measures. So lag measures are the goals. Lead measures are the activities that lead to the goals. Lag measures are uncontrollable and unpredictable. In other words, you have a goal to lose weight. Unpredictable and uncontrollable. You can't think your way to being in better shape. You have to get over on the other side of the page and you have to do the activities. You have to create a diet, live that diet as a standard. You have to exercise. Maybe it's walking a couple miles a day. Great, do that. That's the activity. Now, let's talk about this in terms of real estate. You have a goal of earning $240,000. All good. In order to hit that goal, you got to close 240 homes if your average commission is $10,000. Now, if half of your business is on the listing side of the business, then that means 12 listings closed. In order to take 12 listings, you've got to go on listing appointments. In order to go on listing appointments, here's the activity. You have to call people. You have to talk to people. I have to call 60, 70 people a day, and I have to talk to 20 people every day in order to get the listing appointments I need, in order to take the number of listings that I need, in order to close the number of deals I need, in order to earn the $240,000. But every day I'm going to show up to work and I'm going to focus on what? The lag measure? No. I'm going to focus on the lead measure. I'm going to focus on the activity that gets me to the destination. John, have 20 conversations and call 50, 60, 70 people until you have 20 conversations. Now, do I control that? Let's go back up to the top. Do I control how many people I call? Yes. Do I control how many people I talk to? Yes. So you should never fail when you're focused on lead measures versus lag measures. What does this do? This gives you encouragement to keep going when things get tough. Now, speaking of getting tough, you're going to hit those times when things just aren't going right. In other words, you're doing it wrong. Now, this is the E to P conversation. Now, in E to P conversation, we know that there is a ceiling of achievement. All of us have this. We start out doing what comes naturally to us, or entrepreneurial or easy. That's the E. And then we hit a ceiling of achievement. And when you hit that ceiling of achievement over and over again, it hurts. It creates pain, which leads to resignation and looking for greener pastures. Now, in order to break through that ceiling, you have to get purposeful. That's the P. How can you get purposeful? Hire a coach. Attend Survive to Thrive every morning from 9 to 9:30. Practice and role play your scripts in order to improve conversion, in order to have better conversion on listing appointments. You have to get to better in order to get to different. Do the things crucial to creating the life of your dreams. Whenever I talk to somebody who is disappointed, who is frustrated, it's because they're trying to create the big picture all at once. And what they need to do is they need to do the things that lead to success. Now, you have the ability to do this. It was built into you when you were created. You were created for accomplishment. You were designed for greatness. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Now, here's the other thing that we get wrong. We focus on the competition. I see it on social media. So do you. And why are you looking at your competition? Who cares what they're doing? The other guy doesn't have to lose in order for you to win. Stop looking at your competition. Stop comparing yourself to other people. The reason that most people live a life of mediocrity is because they're comparing themselves to other people. Stop looking at your competition and look at your goal. Look at Michael Phelps. He is clearly focused on his goal. Now, the other swimmer, by the way, his name is Chad Lacrosse. He's from South Africa. If you YouTube the videos prior to the event at the Olympics, Chad was talking smack. He was telling Michael how he was going to beat him. He's beat him before. He's going to beat him again. Who was he focused on? The competition. Now, if you watch the video, what I want you to do is I just want you to look at Michael Phelps in the background and pay attention to his facial expressions. Man, he is on fire. And what you see is you see focus, you see energy, you see passion. He doesn't say a word, but he is looking inward at who he is, because he realizes that what lies behind us and what lies before us pales in significance to what lies within us. And Michael Phelps, he knew he had within him what he needed to do in order to achieve the goal. He was focused on the goal. Now, Andy Andrews, in his book, The Traveler's Gift, teaches, my course has been charted. My destiny is assured. I have a decided heart. I'm on a journey with a destination that is assured. There's not a moment of doubt that I'm not going to reach my destination. I have a decided heart. I am on a journey with a destination that is assured. When I stepped down from being a team leader for Keller Williams in Coral Springs back in October of 2022, it was start over from scratch with absolutely nothing to show for what I had accomplished over the last 8 years. And it took a leap of faith in order to do that because it was scary. There was no guarantee that I was going to be successful. Success had a huge benefit. However, failure could be the end of me. It was that scary. However, my mindset is, I have a decided heart. My course has been charted. My destiny is assured. I am on a journey with a destination that is assured. Now, I want to close with a story, and I'm going to share the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. And if you know the story, cool. And if you don't, pay attention. If you plant a Chinese bamboo tree, a seed in the ground, The first year, you're watering and fertilizing this Chinese bamboo tree and nothing happens. In the second year, you're watering and fertilizing this Chinese bamboo tree and nothing happens. If you haven't picked up on this already, please understand, I'm talking about your real estate business. You water and fertilize this Chinese bamboo tree the third year and nothing happens. 5 years, nothing. And in the fifth year, in 5 months, that thing will grow 90 feet. Now, did it grow 90 feet in 5 months or did it grow 90 feet in 5 years? Well, the answer is obvious. It grew 90 feet in 5 years. And I can just imagine this guy's out front of his house and he's watering the ground, and the neighbor walks up and says, "What you doing?" And he says, "I'm watering the ground." And his neighbor says, "Word has it in the neighborhood that you've grown a Chinese bamboo tree." He goes, "Yep, I am." And he would say, "You will know even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see that nothing's happening. Why don't you give up?" Talking about your real estate career. When you are working on that dream, blood, sweat, and tears, you're not going to create the big picture overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take time on task over time in order to achieve that goal. And so many people will do exactly what the neighbor told them to do. Give up. This ain't never going to happen for me. I'm giving up. Because it's hard. There is no other way to that destination other than hard. There ain't no easy here. So don't look for the easy way. If it's hard, do hard better. Now, what you become on your journey is more important than the destination. Now, in that time period that you are sweating, blood, sweat, and tears to achieve your goal, you are becoming a person who is unstoppable. You are facing adversity, and you know that adversity is preparation for greatness. Adversity is not only preparation for greatness, adversity is preparation for adversity. So the next time you're faced with adversity, you're like, "I've got this. I know what to do." Because you're on a journey with a destination that is assured. And you're never going to give up. And because you're never going to give up, you will arrive at the destination. Now, you arrive there by doing the things that get you where you want to be. It's your it's your yellow brick road. Just follow the freaking yellow brick road. And I promise you're going to end up at the Emerald City. You always will. Watch the movie 100 times. There's never one time where she doesn't end up there. Do the things. Chop wood, carry water. All right, talk to me.